walk into the store with a gleam in my eye. Books stacked so high they reach for the sky. Classics and mysteries, oh what a delight. History whispers in the dead of night. A deal on Dickens, who could resist? A stack of Austen, warmly kissed. Golden Age crime tales twist and turn. Every page a treasure to learn. Books keep coming home with me. Piles so tall, they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea. Reading always feels so free.
Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. I'm wearing the darker glasses today because I've spent most of, I guess it's now yesterday, with a headache and light sensitivity because we have snow coming in. This is the first time I felt somewhat decent in the past 24 hours, and I'm going to take advantage of it to put up my first 2025 video, so Happy New Year. Hopefully I can get several recorded before my family wakes up and before the incoming snow starts affecting me. Because with weather starting to head our way, who knows when the next time will be that I'll feel up to making a video. Anyway, I'm going to start with some of the book haul that I have from Christmas, because I think everything on my Christmas, like what I wanted, Amazon wishlist were pretty much books. My family also did very well and smartly got me a Thrift Books gift card. So I also got to have the fun of purchasing my own books to no cost to me. And I managed to, while that happened, I ended up earning or maybe it was only one. I ended up earning a Thrift Books free book reward or whatever. So I also got another book on top of that I didn't pay for, which was cool. So I'm going to start with the fictional books in this video, and then in subsequent videos I'll go other categories like I've done in the past. My fictional books are off to this side, which is why I'm turning. This is The Road to Yesterday, which I believe is one of the few Anne novels I do not have. Now, if you've watched my channel in the past, you know that I kind of have mixed feelings where the Anne novels are concerned. I really enjoy Anne of Green Gables. I'm less than enamored with the other Anne books, although there are aspects of them that I enjoy. I don't necessarily find, I find that there is there's certain limitations to Ellen Montgomery's writing, insofar as she doesn't seem to have a very broad variety of characters that she writes. And I've mentioned I've compared her to Louisa May Alcott before, where I can throw characters from one of Louisa May Alcott's books in with characters from another one for books, and I would feel that all their individual voices would make themselves heard and distinguish them one from another. And my complaint with Ellen Montgomery has been that her characters, except for Anne, don't have nearly as strong of a character voice. She does have occasional other side characters that have voice types, where like she has several types of character, but she does have multiple characters who sound the same or very similar, who don't know each other. So that is a limitation in Ellen Montgomery's writing, in my opinion. Now, that being said, there are a lot of people who love Ellen Montgomery's work, and I do still very much love Anne of Green Gables. But this is, like I said, one of the few of her books that I do not own, of her Anne books that I do not own. She has plenty of other books that I do not own. The Emily of series, I believe it's Emily of New Moon. I read The Story Girl way back when, basically another Anne type character. Although I do have to admit that one's different insofar as, if I remember correctly, it's written in first person, and you are working from a male narrator, which is different from her other works that I have read. And that was one that when I was younger, I really enjoyed. But yeah, this is Road to Yesterday, which is, I believe, after most of the other books in my box set of Anne. Then, whoops, don't go anywhere. Then I have The Leavenworth Case. This was one that caught my attention when I was looking for books for the Christie's Missing Readathon. One of the challenges was to read books mentioned by either that were mentioned by Christie in her other novels or in her other works at all, or books that mentioned her. Now, this, as well as the other book that I actually read during the Christie's Missing Readathon, that book was The Mystery of the Yellow Room. But this one was another one she talks about at least once or twice, if not more. This is another one of those books that she really enjoyed, which was The Leavenworth Case by Anna Catherine Green. And apparently it was the first mystery of its kind, and it was published 9 years before the debut of Sherlock Holmes. And I don't think it's a locked room mystery the way that The Mystery of the Yellow Room is, but I look forward to reading this one because the name of it is familiar, rings a bell. Like I said, I've read all of Christie's works. That's probably how it's familiar to me. Even prior to this, last year's Christie's Missing Readathon. But I had always thought that it was about a real case. I didn't realize that it was an early mystery novel. So I very much look forward to reading this in the future. Maybe on a day where I'm not feeling well, because usually classic mysteries when I'm not feeling well are just the thing that I'm craving. It harkens back to, I've always revisited Agatha Christie's work when I'm not feeling well, because as I've heard it described, that part of why these classic cozies were so popular during the era that they were was because they were simple, for one thing. You had, you knew at the end, you had a very simple formula, for lack of a better term. You knew at the end the bad guy was going to be caught. You knew at the end that he would have to face some sort of justice. You knew that you would have a puzzle that if you looked back, you could see the clues were left, that you could go, oh yeah, that was left for me. I could have picked that up. So the puzzle aspect, without there being a lot of blood, without there being a huge gory scene, a lot of times set in maybe a country setting or just a very different pacing of life. And so you would hear people reading these books while they were being shelled in London, and this was a way to take their mind away. It was an escape to something where, yes, the good is going to definitely win in the end, and I know I can expect that. And I think it's part of the same reason why when I'm not feeling well, it's like, okay, I'm not really going to have to worry about my body being stressed out, because I have, one of my things with my medical condition is I go into fight or flight very over the stupidest things. Getting excited about something, talking about it can send me into fight or flight if I'm having a particularly bad day, or if I get too excited about it. If you see me flush when I'm talking, that's part of what's going on. My autonomic nervous system disorder, my dysautonomia, is setting off my immune system disorder, and that's where the flushing comes from. So it used to cause it, before I had a proper medicine, my hands would shake like crazy if I got a phone call and I didn't expect it, like uncontrollable shaking, because I went to fight or flight. So that thankfully has improved, but I still startle easily. But anyway, that being neither here nor there, the thing is that the predictability and the relaxing nature of these novels, I don't have the same level of tension that I would have to worry about with something that's more gory or something that is maybe a modern day thriller where there's a lot of, high stakes tension going on. I know what I'm getting. I know what to expect. It's simply something that I can relax to, that's not going to set my body off and then make me feel even worse. So something like this would be something I would say for a day like yesterday, where my eyes and my head were kind of hurting and I just needed something to take my mind off of how I felt. Now, I ended up reading a Elizabeth Peters book, an Amelia Peabody mystery, the first one that I read. Really enjoyed it. And I'm going to read more of those books. Interestingly enough, it'll be another book that I'll end up getting, and I thought I already had it, but I didn't. This was the same author who, under her actual name, had written books on ancient Egypt, one of which is Red Land, Black Land, which is a historical examination of the everyday life in ancient Egypt. And I could have sworn I had the book, and I don't. So that's coming in. But yeah, simple fun fact. One of my newly enjoyed mystery authors is also a historian. And I know that's not abnormal, but yeah, because I can think of several history authors. Alison Weir writes history, kind of like historical romance from what I gather. Then you have Adrian Goldsworthy, who writes historical fiction. So I don't think it's completely out of the ordinary. But Elizabeth Peters, I think her name is Barbara Hertz, something like that, her real name. She just happens to write these relaxing, to me, mystery books that fill in that little area. That's things like the Leavenworth case, Agatha Christie, Mystery of the Yellow Room. That's where those kind of books land in for me. Then next, we get into some of the other, I guess all of these have been classics. Another classic, my mom and I are going to read this one together. We could end up getting the same edition because I think this is a beautiful edition. This is a Reader's Digest edition of Rebecca. It came out in the 1990s, I believe. It comes with a little bit of information about Rebecca. I guess it was an interview with Rebecca du Maurier. Not Rebecca, I don't know why I said Rebecca, Daphne du Maurier. And so it has a little interview with her there. And it's got beautiful, let me see if I can find the illustration. Oh, there's an illustration. It's got beautiful illustrations. It's got nicely sized text. And its cover is just gorgeous. I got this used. You can't even tell. I took the sticker off. I probably need to wipe it down with a baby wipe or something to get it so it's not sticky anymore. But her copy my mom's copy is exactly the same. I'm shocked that it still has the insert, both of them. So eventually she and I will read this together. I've mentioned in the past how we're trying to start reading books together, but we won't be touching this until we have several books that we want to do first. We're currently reading or rereading, because both of us have read it before, Hercule Poirot's Christmas together. Once we're finished with that, we're going to head into Austen, the ones that she has left. Then we're doing either the Brontes or maybe Rebecca. I don't know which will go first. Probably the Brontes. Stay. Then we both fell in love with this copy of Little Women and the other Louisa May Alcott novels that are related to Little Women. So this has Little Women, Little Men, and Jo's Boys in it. And whereas I have that big copy of Little Women that I've shown you, that would be kind of difficult to read in that format consistently. That would be more if I happen to want to read the annotations, but I wouldn't want to read it that way all the time. And I've never read Little Men or Jo's Boys. And my mom doesn't know what happened to her copy of Little Women, Jo's Boys, or Little Men. So we both have this edition. I believe this is a Barnes & Noble edition. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that cover. We got it on sale online. I actually don't know if it has any pictures. I don't think it does. But it's just gorgeous. It comes with this nice little ribbon. Honestly, we both fell in love with the cover. And here's the back. So, yeah, we look forward. We will probably be going through this one together as well. But both of us just fell in love with this edition. And then finally, our collection of the Brontes. Because she was asking me, I think, about Agnes Grey. And we kept talking. I was like, well, Agnes Grey's the only one I've read. I haven't read any of the other Brontes' work, although that's on my to-do list. So we looked up and we found, again, I think we got this on sale and we gave it to each other for Christmas, the Brontes in a collection. So I don't know if we'll start in any order. Agnes Grey is the shortest one of them. And maybe it'd be good to start with her. It looks like they just have it separated by, well, no, never mind. They've got, I was going to say looks like they have them separated by author, but no, Tenant of Woodville Hall is right there in the middle. I thought they had Charlotte, then Emily, then Anne, but they don't. I think Agnes Grey actually was released first, and then Wuthering Heights, but I'm not completely sure. But that kind of sounds right to me. I'm not sure. Anyway, it'd probably be easiest to jump in with Agnes Grey first because it is the smallest. It's probably the least melodramatic to a certain extent, as far as I can tell, because the others, from what I gather, are quite gothic in nature. But yeah, look forward to going through these. Shirley is, that's a thick one. And I know nothing about Shirley. So, yeah. Look forward to going through, her and I going through this collection together at some point. Probably after, well, definitely after Austen. But yeah, that's it for this particular classics fiction book haul. I will see you for the next book haul video. Thank you very much for joining me. God bless. Bye.
Second-hand aisles, oh how they call. Paperbacks line my bedroom wall. Hardcovers with stories brawny and tall. Book halls keep me enthralled. Shakespeare's sonnets make my heart sing. Epic tales of knights in a ring. Fitzgerald's dreams and Hemingway's might make every lonely night feel bright. Books keep coming home with me. Piles so tall, they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea. Reading always feels so free.